Welcome back, everyone, to the Healing Room, where tonight's topic of conversation is judgment and projection. So, in previous healing rooms, we've talked about the seven contemplations. And the first contemplation is it's all an illusion. This reality we're living in is a temporary construct that is forever changing. And so that which changes is illusory. It's real in the moment for the purpose of the soul's journey, but it's not reality with a capital R. It's small reality, symbolic of illusion. The goal is to move from the illusion to unity consciousness, from separation to oneness, from small r reality to big R reality. And so when we are aware that this is a construct, this is an illusion, then we don't attach so much to the external world. We see it for what it is. I call it the game of life. We're here to learn lessons, to have varying experiences, right? Of good, bad, right, wrong. And then at a certain point, we transcend this duality and we step into what I call the new paradigm, which is unity consciousness. So, first contemplation, it's all an illusion. The second contemplation is that this reality is continuously reflecting back to us our own self. Thus, there is no outside, there is no external. There is simply the self, and then the external world reflects myself back to me, informing me of my belief systems, my limited experiences, my subconscious programs, right? We observe the external world for the patterns that keep showing up, because that tells us the inner work we're here to do. Why does this keep showing up for me? Why does this type of personality keep, presenting itself to me? And then why do I have such a reaction to that personality? So the external world, being that there is no outside, is simply the screen where we project our own individual movies onto, and then that screen informs us of our belief systems: positive, negative, limited, unlimited. And so it's useful. It's useful if we can utilize it in this way. And so, because there is no outside, contemplation number 3 says, all judgment is self-judgment. So whatever I am pointing towards or going against or judging is a facet of myself. It has to be a facet of myself because there is the universal law of oneness. We all come from the same source. So if I'm seeing something outside of me that appears to be other, it's because I have cast it out of myself. I have not incorporated this part, and it exists in shadow. And then that shadow is going to present itself to me in various forms in the external world, in different actors performing in my show, in my movie, in my stage performance, right? They're going to have these qualities in order to support me in seeing what I'm not seeing and understanding what is in my subconscious that's not integrated as of yet. So every time we have that contraction internally, like, oh, that person, that contraction is informing us that there's something outside of us that I am judging, that I have disowned, that I need to integrate. And that individual or individuals or experience is a gift. And can I receive this gift? How can I receive this gift? What will it take to receive this gift? Now, this is not something that may happen overnight by any means. We come into this world with with issues, right? With samskaras, with impressions from the past. So these impressions may be deep. And so it may take, quote, time to learn the lesson and integrate the shadow. And I had that. I had that growing up with a family member that really pressed my buttons. Really, like, what a creation. And it took me, upwards of 60 years to own the projection, the negative projection, not consider myself to be a victim of what transpired to me, because it's very easy when judging someone else or something else that I then get to fall into the victim from that external thing. And of course, we know that the victim has no power. The victim can't heal. Only when the victim is willing to give up the story can healing begin. So for years, I held on to the victim and then, kept that individual as far away as possible, not even talking to them for years at a time. And those years were necessary to do the inner work, right? To understand within myself, why would I create this situation in my life, that caused, so I thought, so much suffering? Why would I create that? And that was the contemplation, to be with the shadow. Because I knew, I've studied spiritual texts, so I knew intellectually what the truth was, but I wasn't embodying it. I was an embodiment of the truth of integrating that shadow. So it took as long as it took in order for me to acknowledge, oh, I am that person. I have those qualities. I have those tendencies. I just didn't want to own them because I'm a spiritual being. I don't get angry. I don't behave like that. But the reality is, everything that exists in the external world exists inside of me. I'm everything: positive, negative, good, bad, right, wrong. Every germ that's out there is inside this body. This is a microcosm of the macrocosm. Therefore, what is there to push away? What is there to judge, make wrong, right? If I don't like someone in a political party, say I don't like the president or something, that's my stuff that I have to deal with. Because if I judge that individual, what am I doing? I'm giving it energy. I'm giving them my life force. I'm directing my energy externally and perpetuating the energy of that person that I supposedly don't like. So why do that? If I don't want to see something in the external world continue, why would I judge it? Why would I feed it? I'd actually want to unplug from it, not nourish it, let it dissolve, let it disappear into the ethers. And how does one do that? Through the witness. To pull back and unplug from the being, the person, the situation that I am judging or projecting on. And so I have to first cultivate the awareness that I am in a reaction. I am contracting and I'm in a reactive mode. And then once I have that awareness, I engage the witness, and then I notice the other individual. I notice the qualities that they possess, and I choose not to send my energy to them. I choose not to engage. Because when we judge, as I said earlier, we are feeding that which we are judging. We are perpetuating that reality rather than collapsing that reality. So if the goal is to live from the heart, right, to live from unity consciousness, then I want to do as much as possible to unplug from everything around me that I am seeing or perceiving or projecting as negative. Because there is darkness and shadow in the world, right? The other side of judgment is the discernment of judgment. So there's the judgment of projecting my shadow onto the world or someone else, but then there is the judgment of discerning truth from illusion. So there's two aspects of judgment. One is projection of our own shadow and negativity. The other is observing one's character, for example, and saying, I align with that, or I don't align with that. So we get to use our discerning aspects to be able to perceive through the facade or through the mask that people wear to say, oh, is this in alignment with me? Is this tribe, is this community in alignment with me? Is this restaurant in alignment with me? Right? So we get to sense through the tool of judgment, we get to sense and feel what is in alignment with my heart and soul. So we're balancing these qualities. You don't just get rid of judgment totally and then have no boundaries and then let everything in. That's not the goal either. The goal is to be able to discern from a place of witness consciousness what serves my highest good. Good. There's a lot to unpack in there. So the one thing I didn't speak about is the words of Yeshua, which really speak to all of this, are judge not lest ye be judged. Right? That is one of the, a major teaching of his, but it's a major teaching in many different traditions, but it may be said differently, but it's judge not lest you be judged, because the judgment that's happening, right, what we put forth into the world always returns to us in kind. So the continuation of that is, judge not lest ye be judged, for with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So what it basically says is all of our judgments come back to us because they're all ours anyway. So it's like a boomerang. So if we want to clear up our subconscious mind, then we want to own all of our judgments and projections so that we don't perpetuate our own suffering and the suffering of others in the world. Because whenever we are in this place of judgment, we have created a connection to the person, a karmic connection. So we will look for these individuals lifetime after lifetime if we don't find a place of neutrality in relationship to them. So hence, whatever we judge will come back to us in like measure. So say, for example, I have an issue with a certain nationality and I judge those who are of this nationality. It may not happen in this lifetime, but that lesson will have to come back to me by perhaps incarnating as that nationality. I'm going to have to live into my judgments because that's just how energy is. There's no there's no judgment about the judgment. It's just, oh, okay, you have a charge with this, then you are going to have to live into this until you find peace with this aspect, until you find peace with every aspect of the world of duality. Step out of that reality of duality and step into unity consciousness. That's what brings us back to this reality, to this earth plane, over and over and over again, are those things that we have charges with, that we've not integrated. And you can call them judgments, call them projections. And so that is what that's information remains in the mental body. And that mental body is what reincarnates over and over again. And so the goal is to dissolve that mental body, is to dissolve all those impressions, all those thoughts, all those judgments, until we get to that place where the ego is pure witness consciousness, just like in the meditation. Witness consciousness. That is the return home. Witness consciousness. Okay. Now, I don't know how to turn this into. So is everybody visible or is it just me who's visible? Can you see can you see the Brady Bunch squares?
Yes, everyone.
Okay, good. So that's what's important. Okay, very interesting. Never a dull moment in this world of illusion, especially with technology. Any thoughts, comments, sharings from this topic of judgment and projection? Yes, Amy.
The experience of guilt is a self-judgment, and it just is something that keeps coming to mind, something that I kind of keep carrying forward, this um, guilt about something in my past. And um, there's an aspect of needing to forgive myself. Um, it's not so much around the other people involved, which includes an ex-husband. But my guilt is around not having given my two daughters, this perfect, stable experience in their early years. Um, I know I did the best I could. I don't feel judgment anymore toward the other people involved. It's like the last part of you've done so much work with me, and I really have uh, neutrality in the area with the other adults. But when I think about what plays back in my head every once in a while, the thing that lingers still is my own judgment on myself, which I'm experiencing as just this subtle guilt that will bubble up and then it kind of dissipates and it bubbles up, but it's not neutralized yet. I'm not unplugged from it yet. So is some of this like an internal projection, not just external towards judging someone else or the need to forgive others?
Mm-hmm.
Can we cut the cords with ourselves? There's
Well, there's the awareness of what's the story I am telling myself that feeds the guilt.
um this the story is something around a narrative of I should have been better, I should have known better, I should have done better. And I need to forgive this perceived sense of this frustration with the ignorance and perceived ignorance in the moment. Like, how did I not know better? Why didn't I do better? You know, that it's
Right.
judgy.
Right. So what will it take to forgive yourself?
I like your description of unplugging, like a conscious addressing it and saying no more, because it's kind of just floated in and out, like in the background, um, almost like smoke will like swirl around you, and I haven't grasped it to just fully say no more. Sorry for these. Does that make sense? Like when I think of a lingering guilt, I'm trying to put words to it.
Right. So
It's not front of mind all the time.
it's kind of a ghost that comes in and out, right?
Yes.
So with the witness engaged, you observe it, you notice it, and what will it take to be free of this guilt? Because something isn't happening to you, it's happening from you. So if you're the one engaging it, what's it going to take to stop you engaging it?
Mm,
Like you're not a victim of this ghost. It's yours.
right.
You're the commander. So some part of you on some level is maintaining this relationship with the
Mm,
past. So what do you get out of it? You have to be getting something out of this. We don't do things unless we get something out of it.
right. And that doesn't always mean it feels good what you get out of it necessarily. I think
Oh
it
no.
has, it's reinforcing a narrative of not good enough in one way or the other.
Right, which is your program. I'm not good enough. And so when that thought arises, you get to say, I'm good enough and I forgive myself.
Mm,
They chose me as their mother, as I chose them as my children. And so everything is perfect exactly as it is. There is nothing I could have done differently at that moment in time with the level of awareness and consciousness that I was operating at. There's nothing that I can do that I could have done differently than I did at that moment in time with the level of awareness and consciousness that I was operating at. It's that simple.
yeah.
And, of course, flower essences support that with mustard, not mustard, pine for the guilt,
Hmm.
and honeysuckle. Do you have your flowers there?
Yes.
So
I
you
mean,
can
they're not right next to me, but I'll get them. Yeah,
yeah,
pine and honeysuckle.
grab them right now. I'll wait for you. Pine is for guilt. Honeysuckle is anytime we're in the past. So honeysuckle dwells in the past. And then ultimately, walnut for cutting the ties with the dysfunctional past. So these are the flower essences that I am going to have her take one at a time.
You know, when you talked about unplugging, the image that comes to me right now is those old switchboards where the operator has all the things. And in so much, I feel progress I've made through working with you. I feel like I've unplugged a lot of them, but this one, just keep either replugging back in or I didn't see it yet. But it just
Right.
gently, so.
It's bubbling up for release, right? It's bubbling up.
So pine first.
Pine first for the guilt. Let's do red chestnut as well for over concern for the welfare of others. It's often a remedy for mothers with their children.
I have to order more of that.
You have no more red chestnut?
No, my kits had all expired, so now I've been ordering individual ones that I use most often.
What do you mean expired?
They had an expiration date on them of
It doesn't mean anything.
oh,
It's just because they have to do it for the FDA, but energy doesn't expire.
oh shoot, I did not keep them.
Oh, I have ones from 25 years ago. They don't expire. So homeopathic remedies don't expire. Energy doesn't expire.
Mm,
So I'll take red chestnut for you.
thank you.
Yeah, it's alcohol. Does alcohol expire? No. It is the ultimate preservative. So now take a dose of honeysuckle. And so now when you think about the past and your children and mothering, how do you feel?
It's not even, it's just neutral. It's not even here right now.
Okay, let's take walnut just to cut the ties with that aspect.
There was something cathartic even saying it out loud.
Yeah,
Great, thank you.
sure thing.
The switchboard.
That's great. Who else? Anyone else?
I guess I could just I could go because I'm in a very similar a lot of what Amy said really resonated with me. Um, I'm just in the process of a divorce. Just had my final mediation session a couple of hours ago, and I was the one who instigated this split, and so I get waves of guilt, and when I think that I'm past the guilt, and I think thank God that's final, the guilt is gone. And then another tsunami of guilt hits me, and I don't so much have concern about my kids, but my big thing is I'm so bad to be doing this, and then sort of confusion around it, like what am I doing? Even though I know I go into my body and I think that this is what I need to be doing because this marriage is not in alignment with my truth.
Right.
But I think I need Elm because I think I'm just overwhelmed right now.
You have the kit there?
Yeah, I do.
Take a dose of elm.
I feel energized suddenly. feel very sad.
Mm.
And the sadness is from?
I guess I feel what I'm putting my husband through.
So you feel responsible?
Yeah.
Take a dose of oak. And what are you aware of?
Wow, I feel very clear all of a sudden. The sadness has shifted. I feel very very upright and clear.
Yeah. So when someone says sadness in flower essence talk, you usually want to go to like Star of Bethlehem or honeysuckle. Those are the key remedies for sadness. But that's why you have to ask, deeper questions to understand what's source. And the source of the sadness for her was, I feel responsible for what I'm doing, for what I have done. Then she takes the remedy and she comes right back to center, back to herself. So this is why it's important to know the remedies and to attune to the person and not just intellectually give the essences. This is the art of flower essence therapy, really listening deeply to the person and giving them what they're calling for. So now when you think about the whole divorce process, how do you feel?
Um, Kind of neutral.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love that. I love when things just integrate so quickly. It can be that way. Life can be that way. We don't have to sit and spin with these stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over again. And it's kind of like flagellation, self-flagellation. It's like, why do that to yourself? Why not just get to the source of what's cause and then deal with that cause? That's the key. This is the art of healing. How to get to the cause of the issue and then uproot it like a weed. Who else? Wendy, anything from you? Yeah?
Yeah. So to follow up from last month, can you hear me okay?
Yeah?
Okay. Um, I've been doing pretty well, haven't had any thoughts. There's been nothing going on, although I'm knowing there's going to be some court hearings and such, but it just doesn't bother me. I just felt neutral about it and just moving on. And yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I guess yesterday, there was some text chain and I found myself in reaction and within myself. I have nothing to say in the text chain at all yet. I was reacting to my own reaction. So
Right. So this is one of those situations that been going on for a very, very long time. And, you've done,
longer than I knew.
yeah, and you've done a lot of inner work around it, but there's still a charge. So what is the piece of the puzzle that needs what's the story that you tell yourself in relationship to these people?
Like, I don't want to hear from them.
So what's the story
What's
that
the
you tell
story?
about these people?
There
Not the
is no story other than I want nothing to do with these people.
Nope.
I don't want.
Nope. No. That's the boundary. There's a story that is
So what comes
feeding-
up is I've been wronged.
right. I'm a victim. The story is I have been a victim of these people and I have proof, journals of proof. Correct?
Yeah, like 200 videos plus.
Right. So that story of victimhood keeps you a victim. It doesn't matter if you keep them away from you. Energy is energy.
Yeah.
And so they're still in your system, they're still in your consciousness. And we do what we do because we don't know how to integrate the shadow because the shadow is so big, right? The shadow is so big in the face of my reality. And so, how do I incorporate this huge shadow that I've created outside of myself? So it's a split. It's a big split in consciousness that you would have like numerous people like this in your life behaving this way. So that says to me that your soul before it incarnated was like, we're going to really get this lesson because we're going to create so many people doing this to me. I'm going to have no choice but to learn the lesson or not. And then you do it again the next lifetime, right? So we have choice to integrate or we just kick the can down the road to the next lifetime.
Yeah, no.
So what's the what so there's numerous things here. So what the story is, I'm a victim of these people. And what is the lesson to be learned? What's the gift that they have given you thus far that you're conscious of?
Well, one thing I heard when you were speaking is I've been a victim.
Right. In the
What's
past.
the gift?
Wait.
The gift
So part of
is,
there's a part of you saying I've been a victim.
yeah,
What does that mean?
it means I suppose it means every moment is a new moment. And yes, I've been a victim in the past. And
Still a victim of these people.
what's that?
Are you still a victim of these people?
No,
Are you still a victim of these people?
no.
Do you feel victimized at all by these people?
No, I just want to
Okay.
move on. I just
Right.
like
In order to move on, what do I have to give up?
being annoyed.
In order to move on, I have to give up.
My story of they're annoying,
What else?
that I've been a victim,
Yeah.
just owning my own participation in whatever this is, even if it's clearly not from this lifetime, like just accepting that. And I feel like I've been doing that, and
So with situation like this, at some point, one has to say, I am that.
yeah,
I may have abused all these people in some other lifetime, or I've abused others in some other lifetime. So I've been them, I am them, and I can forgive them because it's forgiving myself. This is the
yeah,
place where we can get caught, right? Where we can get tripped up is we keep seeing things as different than ourselves. Like they're not different from you, they're a part of you.
yeah.
So
I get that. I
how do I
really do.
welcome this exiled part of me back home? How do I welcome?
It was through self-forgiveness.
Yeah. So the cutting cords meditation would be to forgive them and yourself for anything you may have done all time and space, past, present, and future, as them.
Mhm.
Like, I acknowledge that I have been as annoying as you are. I acknowledge that I'm annoying. I acknowledge that I've been a victimizer. Because once you do that, there's no Velcro. But as long as there's still an exiled shadow that they have to hold for you, you're going to be reactive. Once you acknowledge, oh, it's me, I'm annoying, I'm victimizing, I'm whatever the words you have for them, they are all for you. So then you'll notice, oh, I notice I really can be annoying sometimes. Wow, I got it. I really can
Yeah.
be persnickety. I really can be whatever it is. Anything you see outside of you is you. There's no outside. It's only the self. Everyone is reflecting the self back to the self. So if you can see the positive qualities of yourself in your friends, that's in you, that you can acknowledge. But the challenge is, how do I look at my enemy, my supposed enemies, and acknowledge that that's me as well? There's the kicker. There's the real work. Because the only one suffering is you. That's why we do this work. Because we're suffering. We are suffering. And it takes time. It took me, 60 years to forgive, forget, to heal. And it's layers and layers and layers. And it could be lifetimes of work that we're doing. And we're using this situation to clear those layers. So it's useful. It's very useful, these experiences. It's very helpful. But we have to see it in that way, through the spiritual lens, rather than the egoic split lens.
Yeah, Joseph, I really do experience glimpses of the usefulness in the sense that I've gotten glimpses of the power that's been locked up, that's beginning to emerge
Yeah,
through this forgiveness process. So it's coming. It's coming.
yeah.
It's
You want
coming.
it? You have your flowers there?
I don't have my flowers here.
Are they close by?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I could get them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Do you want me to go get them? Yeah, they're
Yes.
not close by, but I can get them.
Well, you're in a house, so within minutes, right?
I'm outside. Well, I don't know if it's going to disconnect. Hang on. You know that? Where's the two on Monday? Can you hear me, Joseph?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. All right.
So the first remedy to take is willow. Willow for any remnants feeling like a victim. And then honeysuckle.
Just immediately felt freer on that.
Yeah.
Probably
Yes.
before the drop even hit.
Yep, because there is still a part of you that feels like a victim, even though consciously, your conscious part of you is not registering victimhood. There's still a part of you that is. Otherwise, you wouldn't have felt.
I feel like it's because I'm moving through it and beginning to feel the strength and the wisdom and the clarity, having been through something as intense, insane as I have.
Right. Right. But remember, with judgment, it always returns to us in equal measure. That's why when we step out of the limited mind and we go into the infinite mind, where we've been in every role. So you're a nice, sweet, loving, kind, compassionate individual in this lifetime. Who in the world knows who you were in other lifetimes?
Right. I seem to have access to something that I didn't have access to, let's say 10 years ago.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
once you acknowledge, I am that, I am them, I am annoying, I am victimizing, I am abuse,
I'm a psychopath.
I'm a psychopath.
Yeah.
Once you get that you're all of it, you're free. They're free. But when we're in this limited, contracted body, self, mind, it's hard to acknowledge that I could possibly ever behave like that towards another person. It's impossible. Actually, it's not. And we've done and been
Really
all
not.
of it. We've been all of it.
Yeah.
So this is why the gift of forgiveness, last healing room was about forgive and forget. Move on. So this is the gift you give yourself. So now we go to, so now, but the challenge is with your mind in general, the mind in general is being too myopic in its perspective as opposed to I can see the bigger picture of my role in relationship to these individuals. I can see that I could have been Genghis Khan. Who in the world knows? And this is my balancing act for that behavior.
Yeah, I can see all that, Joseph. I really can. And it's something I probably most definitely could not have seen 10, 15 years ago. I
Right,
can now.
right. So the contraction when you have to be on a text thread with these individuals. So let's do chestnut bud to break patterns, repeating patterns. That's good.
Just feeling the release and the letting go
Yeah.
from like the moment of calling it in and like the energetic strings are dissolving and
Good.
releasing the constriction.
Now take a dose of walnut. And the goal is always to move from the intellectual understanding to the embodiment of, like, I am embodying these concepts. I'm not just intellectually understanding them, I am living them. That's the practice. That's the spiritual practice.
Yeah, it might take a minute to embody all of
Oh, yeah.
that. That's a
It,
lot.
it takes as long as it takes. But each step of the way, we get closer and closer to the finish line. Now take a dose of Centauri. On the
It's
Enneagram,
getting dark.
I believe you're a 9. So
Yes.
9s do not like conflict. They want to maintain the peace. But
Yes.
9 has anger. It just keeps it very, very repressed until
It's
something,
not as repressed as it used to be, dear.
right, until it comes out. But this is why it has to come out,
Yeah.
because we all need to own our own anger because it's power. There's power there.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. Now take a larch.
Got it. Yeah, feeling the anger, like integrating and knowing that it's useful. It has its place.
Mm-hmm. So now when you think about these people, how do you feel?
First thing that came is just amused.
Okay,
Like,
good. Take a dose of
yeah,
holly just to
really.
open up that heart.
Yeah, my dad had this way about him that he was, and my brother has the same thing, and my mother too. Like and my other brother too, like everybody except me. Just being pleasantly amused by things instead
Right.
of getting upset.
Yeah, that's the witness that watches the circus go by.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't step into the parade, it just watches.
Yeah,
Good. Very good.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia.
Hmm.
Hey, it's fascinating the movements that we all do,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing myself here like um, in this like holding on to this victim place of like this person she's a big narcissist. Where is this in me? You know, where where you know and I can see many aspects of that. I'm a Leo. I like to shine. I like all many aspects of it. What I'm looking for is to integrate this shadow. What do I have to keep doing, because it's just like, whoa.
Right. So, there's a gift to be received whenever we have a great reaction to someone. That someone is holding something for us. There's a gift. And so we have to be patient to see what is the lesson, what is the gift to receive in this situation. So it's not that you're a narcissist. We all could be narcissists at some point. Well, different degrees and levels of self-absorption, right? But there are those that are on the, extreme spectrum of narcissism, right? So, but if you are in the presence of a narcissist, then there's a gift to receive.
Oh,
What is the gift that needs to be received in this, in this situation?
I see like the opportunity for me to express who I am and
Yeah.
my voice and my truth. That I have such a difficult, a hard time to express clearly my anger and my truth when I'm confronted to someone really powerful like that.
So what's the story?
The story is that I'm a weak little being.
You got it. So of course you're going to have to be placed against the narcissist who owns their power in order to, because one extreme activates the other extreme, right? Yin goes to yang. So if you are withholding and afraid of your power and feeling weak, then you've got to have an individual that's holding all of that in spades in order to wake you up, to activate that part of you so that you take a stand for your truth. So that's the gift she's given to you. Forget about whatever title you want to give her or name you want to give her. That's their thing, right? That's their experience. But you just want to take it apart, the situation, and go, what is it? What's my story, number one? And number two, what is it that who is it I have to be in order to be free from this experience? Who do I need to be in order to be free from this experience? And what's the answer to that?
I just need to step in my own space and speak.
Right. So I have to give up what in order to
Fear. I have to give up fear of confronting.
do you know the Enneagram?
I don't.
So you sounds like you may be an Enneagram 9 as well, because
9.
Yeah.
Enneagram 9 is afraid of confrontation. So you came here to learn, one of the things you came to learn about is to take a stand for your truth. I'm giving you Mimulus for fear, Larch for confidence, Centauri for really being grounded and centered in yourself. That's good. Vine for power. Vine is all about power. Now, when you think about this person, how do you feel?
I'm not sure what it feels kind of manageable.
Okay.
That's the word that comes, but I think I'm afraid. I'm afraid of this person.
And what is it you're afraid of?
I'm afraid of being abused, of being bullied.
So you're a victim?
Yeah, that's that space again and again and again.
Right. So I'm a victim of this individual. So that's the story. I'm a victim. So if I'm not a victim, what am I?
I'm a free, sovereign being.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell yourself a different story?
Yeah,
Like,
I can tell, but I feel like it's a pull so strong
what's a pull so strong?
to stay in that space. I
Yeah,
think
because you want to give away your power?
no.
No, not the intellect. You want to give away your power because you're afraid to possess it?
I think I am afraid to possess it.
Because what's going to happen if you possess power?
I have to take responsibility for so many things and do so many things in the world that
Oh,
calls me to.
oh. So there's bad news about being in your power. If I'm in my power, I'm now responsible for that power. Is that right?
Right.
So you rather project on the narcissist all the negative qualities of someone in their power. That's very convenient.
Mm.
See that?
Yep.
I don't want to be powerful because I never want to be like her. What is she like?
She's like a manipulator,
I don't ever
dominating.
want to be a manipulator or domineering, right?
Right.
I am a manipulator. I have manipulated in my life. I have dominated in my life. I can possess all of these qualities, right?
Right.
Now you can't project it on her. You can't judge her for being a narcissist because you possess all the same qualities. At some point in time, you've manipulated somebody.
Mhm.
At some point in time, you misused power. And some part of you is afraid you're going to misuse power again. But if you have a fear of misusing power, you're not going to misuse power. That is a samskara. So once you understand this, then you can work with this energy and show up as an empowered being and say, I can own my power and be responsible for my power. I can own my power and be responsible for my power. Then I don't have to project the shadow aspects of being powerful onto someone who is owning their power. And so I'm just going to call them a narcissist. When in reality, they could just be someone who's in their power. But to your limited mind, they're narcissistic because you won't own your own power.
Mm.
So you see how we project onto others these labels? And I'm not saying they are or they aren't. I'm just
Mhm.
saying they're in your life for a reason. And the reason is to teach you something and to give you a gift. When you receive the gift, you won't have that reaction toward
Mm.
that person because you have now integrated that which you have the exiled shadow. That all make sense?
Yeah. Total sense.
Right. So simple once it's explained to you in simple terms. It all makes sense.
Right.
But because we're so close to it, we oftentimes need someone else to break it down for us so we can digest it and understand it.
Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate.
You're very welcome. Very good stuff.
Mm.
Using my thing to, but I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone right now. So funny. Who else? Robert, do you want to do some work?
Yeah, this one was pretty epic to say the least. I mean, I've been experiencing for the class that doesn't know every single detail. I had an opportunity that came my way to have be a director in my department as my boss was putting in her 2 weeks notice, and she has when I originally started, she was giving me like she was just nagging me, just always on my tail. And then I did a cutting cords meditation, and literally within 24, 48 hours I saw the shift, and it changed dramatically. And then I was like, okay, the golden employee and everything. And then she was leaving just a few weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, great. And finally, because there's still that little fruit fly experience that I had. And then the CEO is like, yeah, I want you to be the director. So I'm like, great, I'm going to have these new ideas and really get this department up and going. And then second week of her notice, she's like, oh, wait, no, I'm not leaving. I'm staying. And I'm like, so then they put her like still above me, where now I don't have the freedom to change this department because she wants to keep it in this flight or fight that she's always had it for 3 years that she's been in the company. And so it's been really challenging. I went through this whole like
So
collapse.
what's the story you are telling around your relationship to this individual?
I actually resonated right now with Claudia's story and the whole power, because I feel that that was a big part. That's a big part of this is this whole power situation
What's
where
the story?
I'm given the power and then it's like taken back away from me.
So I don't want to own my power because
Well, I don't want to be a micromanaging like she does.
I don't want to own my power because I don't want to micromanage. No, I don't want to own my power because
Mm, there's probably fear in there.
yeah, I don't want to be responsible.
Yeah. And yeah, then I would have to do more work, more reports, and
Right.
if something happens, it's all on me.
Right. So there's bad news about truly being given the position you wanted. So somewhere in your subconscious, there's a part of you that, quote, sabotages your success because part of you, what? Doesn't want the responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, I that's definitely probably the subconscious because consciously I've always felt like, oh, I could definitely run the show better than who
Correct.
is running the show.
So your conscious mind can handle anything because you're sharp as a tack. But your subconscious has a limiting belief and it's sabotaging you. So this person is reflecting your subconscious saboteur because they are a saboteur, right?
Yes, yeah, she's yeah.
Right. So again, there is no she,
Oh,
there is no they. So that's why you sit back and you watch the behavior of the other person and say, where in me is this part that sabotages his life? That I get closer and closer to something and then I sabotage it. where in me is this same reflection that I am not honoring, accepting as myself? So you may not come up with the answer in this moment, but this is why we write things down, because we're getting, when we free write, like the exercise could be, what it is about this individual that I don't like about myself is, and you let the subconscious just write, free write, whatever it may be. And then you start to see the threads and go, oh, I have these qualities. I do sabotage myself. I do certain things and then I forget that I did it, and then this and that. Whatever it is, you start to see that they're not so different from you, that there's something that they're holding for you, a mirror. They're holding, the other person is always holding up a mirror. So we have to look into the mirror and receive the reflection of that which we are seeing. Again, it takes time, because first we have big reactions, then we take some flower essences or do some inner work, and then it's less of a reaction. And then the more we are neutral, the more we can see with clarity, with the inner vision, with the third eye, we can see through the illusion that's present. The illusion is there's a different person from me that's bothering me. That's the illusion. The reality is when you see through the inner vision that this person has a gift. It may not be an exact replica of what you're running, but we have to take apart the scenario like a detective to get to understand the programming that we're running in the background. So now when you think about this person, how do you feel?
It's still not good. So.
Right. So I feel what? Take a dose of beach.
Annoyance.
Yeah, that's beach.
No, well, there you go.
And then take a dose of willow. Now when you think about this person, how do you feel?
There's still this contraction just with the thought of the person.
What's the emotion?
Like, oh, like angry, just like get away.
Take a dose of holly.
Mm. Good.
Now when you think about this person, how do you feel?
Like she's tolerable.
So this is a heart situation. This is about accepting someone. So it's about forgiveness. So holly is a main remedy for you now. It's opening your heart to receive a certain part rather than, exiling people. Like there's
Mm.
no room for them, only room for people I love. So for you, it's about opening your heart more to allow for those people, even that you may not like, to be welcome into your heart. So there's this thing that you're doing, like a delineation. You're welcome, you're not welcome. So
Right.
your learning in life is how to have space
Inclusion.
for everyone. Yes, inclusion. How to have space for everyone in life. Because I can see, I've not seen this before, so it's curious. So that's how we know we're going deeper, because I'm seeing something new as I see this very clear delineation of yes, no, good, bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's due to just getting burned by people, and whether it's family members, friends,
Right.
doesn't matter. It's both sides of the equation that it's just I can be as loving and generous, whatever the case scenario is, and then I get burned at the end. And it's like, oh, well, what was the point of that?
So what's the story?
Oh, for that particular piece, a lot of it is that I don't fit in because I'm like kind of like an alien,
If
different
I let people in, what's going to happen?
feelings and heartbreak,
Yeah. So I'm going to keep a
boundary, a guard up.
guard. I'm going to keep my guard up. So the story is you never know what people are going to do.
Mhm.
So I need to be on guard. So of course you're going to create someone who's going to treat you in a way that's less than kind. And then you're like, see, got to put that guard up. I'm only going to give a certain amount of energy now.
Yeah, because everybody else I would enjoy working with, in the company and
Yeah,
stuff.
but
Just,
you're not here. This reality isn't designed so that you can just be like la di da. You're here to heal, to evolve, to grow in consciousness. So it's the reason why the goal is to wake up while we're here is so you can take advantage of these experiences rather than collapse. Oh, goody. I'm having a reaction to this person. This is good news. That means I'm at an edge and I get to go beyond my edge.
mm,
And so your edge is I get burned by people when I let them in. So I've got to put my guard up because you never know what they're going to do. And then you're like, you get a job, and you're like, see, prove me right. Well, of course, they're going to prove you right because it's your drama, it's your movie. You wrote the script, you hired the actors. They have to fulfill your subconscious beliefs 100%. Success. That's why, whenever you have these reactions like this, you have to, instead of contract, you have to relax in the midst of these people so that you can receive the gift they have to offer. And so, this person that's holding a lot of energy for you, which means you don't have that energy for yourself because you're contracted. So, this person's holding the energy for you. You get to have it back. How, in this situation, can you retrieve the energy? What do you have to give up?
Mm.
Just a wall that I might put up, and that's the only thing that's coming up right now.
Right, but the wall is there for a reason. So the wall is a form of protection. I have to live in the world protected. I have to protect myself. I have to protect my family. I have to protect. What do you have to give up in order to no longer need to protect yourself?
Just surrender and maybe compassion for humanity. Like,
What do you have to give up? What's the story you have to give up? The compassion is the next step, but there's a step before that.
to give up the ego.
It's specific. It's specific to feel
Mm.
safety.
Oh, I had to give up like my safety net.
I have to give up feeling unsafe around people or untrustworthy of people.
Mm.
Mm.
You can't trust people because you never know what they're going to do, right?
Right, yeah. Trust is a big thing that I have a hard time trusting people.
Right. So I give my heart to people and then they do what?
They smash it into pieces,
Right.
and then I'm just
I'm
left
left.
in the dust.
And what's the feeling?
Uh, Sorrow, sadness.
Yes. But you protect the sorrow and the sadness with resentment.
Mm.
Mm.
You're protecting your sorrow and sadness with resentment. So this net of protection is resentment. Do you feel that?
Hmm.
Yeah. You can feel the shift in your body with the awareness.
Mm.
So honeysuckle, take a dose of honey. You have your flowers there? Honeysuckles were in the past. Willow, we're feeling like a victim. Did you feel the room shift when I said that? Yeah. We touched something very significant that is a major energy suck in your life.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling of resentment that people do not respect and honor your space, your energy, your contribution. This is old. This is something your soul came here to rectify. So the boundary is a boundary of resentment. So now when you think about this individual, how do you feel?
Neutral, like I feel I feel in the coming days it won't be like I won't be contracting, I won't just be smooth sailing.
So that's what I would add. Are you taking flower essences now?
Yes.
I would add holly, chestnut bud, if it's not in there, beech, willow, walnut, vine, gentian, impatiens, larch, mimulus. Very good. That was
Yeah.
for that moment and that moment that we hit, where the whole room can feel that shift. We all receive the gift of that grace. That's the power of doing group work, is those moments. Very powerful. Good stuff, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, y'all. We are I'm looking for my phone and it's right in front of me because that's what we've been using. Funny. Thank you all for being here tonight. And yeah, it's an important topic, judgment and projection. So hopefully you have received some significant insights to do more inner work, because it's all about inner work. To me, at least, if you're on a spiritual path, it's all about how do I pull back my projections and hold the power in this world rather than giving it away to the illusion. How do I hold the power by not reacting to the or in the illusion? Because every time we react, we're giving away our energy rather than containing it and holding it, maintaining it, which then shifts the paradigm on the planet. This is the power we have. This is the power we have. But we have to wield it. We have to do the inner work to contain the power, not be afraid of it, right? Not be afraid of it, but to command it. And it's not a doing. Commanding power is not a doing, it's a being. Because you're just present. And in the moment, you just know exactly what needs to be done. It's not a thought process. It's just, this is the natural expression in this moment. And that's why we need access to all of our emotions. Because if we're judging any emotion, then we are split somewhere in our consciousness. And we don't have access to the fullness of the power of the moment, because all emotions are not online. To be in this body, we need to have access to all of our emotions, which means being neutral in relationship to everything. That's why the Bach flower essences are so significant, because they help us achieve this neutrality. They help us experience the neutrality. And then we walk in the world fully present. And in each moment, we're simply expressing what needs to be expressed. Sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's sorrow. Look at a child. They're in their power if they're allowed to just be. And then they grow up empowered because no one tried to shut them down. But so many of us growing up, don't be angry, don't be mean, be nice, be kind, be a good boy, be a good girl. All these archetypes are then imposed upon us. And then we have to integrate all these aspects in order to get back to an empowered, neutral, present witness consciousness. So this is the work. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you next time. Appreciate you all for being present.
Thank you, Joseph.
You too.
Welcome.
All of you.
Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you.
You're welcome.